Hey, rock stars, are you ready to master the art of business development and finally achieve the results you've been chasing? Hi, I'm Kelly Kennedy, host of the Business Development Podcast, and I want to invite you to the Business Development Mastery Program, a transformative journey designed to help you level up, stand out, and succeed. This program goes beyond the basics. You'll learn how to craft marketing materials that sell, create ideal customer profiles, and build target lists that deliver results. But that's just the start. You'll also discover the secrets to personal branding so that you're not just another voice in the crowd, and learn how to use social media strategies to position yourself as a trusted expert in your field. It's about building relationships, driving action, and achieving measurable growth. The truth is, business development isn't guesswork, it's a system, and I'll show you how to make it work for you. Let's get started. Book your discovery call now at capitalbd.ca or connect with me directly on LinkedIn and send me a DM. Your next big win is waiting. Welcome to episode 227 of the Business Development Podcast. And today we're talking all about LinkedIn engagement. The good, the bad, the ugly, what's working, what's hot in 2025. If you've been struggling to get engagement on LinkedIn, this episode is for you. Stick with us.
The great Mark Cuban once said, "Business happens over years and years. Value is measured in the total upside of a business relationship, not by how much you squeezed out in any one deal." And we couldn't agree more. This is the Business Development Podcast, based in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and broadcasting to the world. You'll get expert business development advice, tips and experiences, and you'll hear interviews with business owners, CEOs, and business development reps. You'll get actionable advice on how to grow business. Brought to you by Capital Business Development, capitalbd.ca. Let's do it. Welcome to the Business Development Podcast. And now your expert host, Kelly Kennedy.
Hello, welcome to episode 227 of the Business Development Podcast. My gosh, guys, 227 episodes in 26 months of the show. We are celebrating our 26-month anniversary of the Business Development Podcast, guys. I did a little basic math, and that works out to 9 episodes per month on average over the past couple of years, guys. It's been pretty incredible. It's been an incredible journey. And I wanted to start today's show, whether this is your first time joining us on the Business Development Podcast, or whether it's your 227th time. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Thank you so much for joining us week over week, month over month, year over year. This show is for you. I could not do this show without you, my rock stars, my incredible, incredible listenership. You are amazing. And I have some many thanks for you guys as we get to the end of the show. Obviously, the Quill Podcast Awards are starting up and we received a ton of nominations. And so I just have to thank each and every one of you. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys immensely. Today, I wanted to spend some time talking about LinkedIn. You know it, guys. We love LinkedIn on this show. And specifically, I wanted to talk about how do we get better engagement on LinkedIn? I get questions on this from you guys all the time. How do I get more engagement from my posts? I'm posting, but it's not working. I'm putting out good content, but nobody's seeing it. So today, we're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about LinkedIn engagement. We're going to talk about what is working, what's hot on LinkedIn in 2025, and I'm going to go over some of my own lessons that I've learned along the way. Guys, I could not have done this specific show a year ago. Why? Because I was not getting good engagement on LinkedIn. I had to learn as I went, and it's funny, I'm a bit of a case study on this, and we're going to get into it, but I've grown this entire show from the very beginning on LinkedIn. The very first social media page I had for the Business Development Podcast was a LinkedIn page. And so from the very beginning of the show, I've been learning, how do you leverage LinkedIn? How do you get better engagement? How can I grow this show organically, get as many eyes on it as possible, utilizing LinkedIn and utilizing it specifically on organic LinkedIn? We advertise on Spotify and a little bit on Instagram, but on LinkedIn, I don't genuinely think you have to. And I'm going to get into that. Obviously, we can always pay for ads. LinkedIn is, the same as the rest of them on that front. But LinkedIn specifically is designed in such a way that you can get a ton of organic impressions on your content if you can learn how to market it. And so today we're going to talk all about LinkedIn and how we can better organically grow both our corporate and personal brands here in 2025 and beyond. Chances are you are using LinkedIn. You're working hard, crafting great posts, great videos, lessons, but they are simply not getting the attention that you wish they would. Well, guys, I have good news for you and bad news for you. The good news is you are not alone. Over 80% of posts on LinkedIn get little to no engagement. Over 80%, guys. And I've seen numbers even higher than that, pushing closer to 90, 95% are getting little to no engagement. So if this is you, you're not alone. Don't feel bad. By the time we're done today's show, I think we're going to set you up for a little better success. According to rivaliq.com, the median engagement rate by impressions is just 4.73%. That means that for every 100 times that your post is seen, an impression, only 4 to 5 people are engaging with it. They're either liking, commenting, sharing, or clicking. So 4 to 5%, guys. 4 to 5 people out of every 100 that see your post do anything with it at all. If 1,000 people see your post, you would be likely to get about 47 of them to interact with it. So what this means, guys, is that if we want to get good engagement on LinkedIn, we have to get as many eyes as possible on this. And this might mean that just simply sharing your stuff on your page isn't going to be enough unless you have a really massive following, and not just a massive following, but a massive following of people who like to engage with content, okay? So once again, if we are only getting a 4.73% engagement rate, and that's what's important to you, that people are liking and commenting on your posts, we need to get these posts in front of quite a few people, okay? So if you've been struggling to get the engagement that you need, we're simply going to have to reevaluate our tactics. For most people, simply posting on your page is not going to be enough to get the engagement you want, especially if you're looking for that, like, let's call it 15, 20 comments, 50 likes, some shares, right? I think somewhat we expect that that is what should happen, but the statistics don't lie, guys. 4.73%, 4 to 5 people out of 100 people will engage with your content. So if you're looking to get 50 likes, now we're talking, we got to get this thing in front of like 1,000, 2,000 people at a time, every time. So we have to frame shift a little bit about what it's going to take to get the engagement that we want, okay? We're going to have to reverse engineer this a little bit. Let's start by looking at what's hot on LinkedIn in 2025. If we want good engagement on our content, we have to have good content. Simply, you are competing against a sea of content at this point. We've talked about it multiple times on the show. We need stuff that's visually appealing, impactful, resonates with people, puts a smile on people's faces, makes them want to engage with it. You're dealing with people like me that are millennials, incredibly short attention spans. As a millennial, we have a 12-second attention span. Gen Z have 8-second attention spans. So you are fighting for attention, guys. You are fighting harder than you have ever had to fight for attention in your life. And so if your posts are lackluster, if your content is simply not that exciting, you have to really focus, first off, on creating content that people are going to like, that people are going to want to interact with, okay? So let's start by looking at what's hot on LinkedIn in 2025. Number 1, video content. Just as I've mentioned in many previous episodes at this point, short form video content is absolutely king in 2025. Video uploads on LinkedIn have been increasing by 44% year over year, and video posts generate 1.4 times more engagement than any other format. Short form video content specifically is working extremely well for executives and CEOs in particular, earning them up to 4 times the impressions that they would get from non-video posts. And guys, I will be the first to say that this is absolutely true. Whenever I do video posts of any type, whether it's short form content from the Business Development Podcast, or whether it's, a short form video clip from Authentic Hustle, those things are getting an absolute ton of engagement. Lots of people stop and watch the videos, especially if they're short. And I really do think that that is the key word. You're dealing with people with short attention spans. We're the generation of TikTok and short videos, right? Think about it from that standpoint. Short videos are king. 90 seconds or less, guys. A minute and a half tops, and you can get up to 4 times the engagement from your other posts. Now, in my opinion, this doesn't mean that you should only do video posts. Let me just start by saying that right now. I think a mix of content is always valuable, especially if you are doing educational things like we do on the Business Development Podcast, or you're trying to inspire people. Mixing, quote posts with story posts, with carousels, with video, it's all super effective, and it leads to balance on your page, guys. If everything you do is always a short form video, you might get lots of engagement, but people might get turned off over time. Make sure that while sure, the short form video content is getting a ton of attention, that you're peppering it in along with other valuable posts. I genuinely think having a balanced posting schedule of pictures, stories, carousels, videos, it's going to benefit you guys over time. And it's going to make your pages much more compelling for people to want to follow them, okay? The second thing that's really hot here, guys, in 2025 is authentic storytelling posts, okay? I think we know this. We love a good story. People can connect with stories. We can relate with stories, especially authentic stories of people's entrepreneurial experiences, challenges they're facing, family, business, life. Authentic storytelling from your own experience is humanizing for both you and your brand, and it fosters deep connection with your audience. And I have had really great success with this, particularly in my sponsorship appreciation posts. So if you guys come on to the Business Development Podcast page, you guys see that I do multiple sponsor appreciation posts per month for my sponsors, where I typically use carousels to create really cool stories for them, where I tell their story, or sometimes I'll tell their story in a fun way. And I create posts that people want to sit and watch, and they do. My sponsors appreciate it, and my followers appreciate it because they're thoughtful and well done. Now, if you're trying to tell stories, I find that slideshows, carousels, and video all work extremely well. Just make sure that there's some visual appeal to them. Make sure that if you are using words, that the words are animated, that you're animating them with a program like Canva, or you're peppering in video into the story, or you have, cool images along the way to help carry the story forward. But think about it from a standpoint of, I want to tell a story with this post. Cool thing is, you can tell a story in 5 slides and you can tell a story in 20 slides. It's whatever you feel like when it comes down to telling the story. But start to think about your products and services, your company, your life. How could you tell a story in a slideshow? How could you tell a story in images, videos, words? And you can create really amazing story ideas utilizing a program like Canva, guys. We use Canva for all of our story posts. So whenever you guys are seeing that, very likely I created that on Canva, and they can be done really time effective and have a really cool impact with your audience. Number 3, incorporating humor is powerful in 2025. LinkedIn is way different now than it was way back in 2013. We can pretty much call LinkedIn 2013 the pompous, stuck-up LinkedIn. And you now have permission to be yourself. There's been a massive shift in LinkedIn. I still get questions all the time. LinkedIn is for professionals only, right? Like, I can't just post like I do on Facebook. And the answer is post however the hell you want on LinkedIn. Show up however you want. LinkedIn has shifted. I would say maybe it's a demographic shift or something along those lines, but the way that we did LinkedIn in 2013 is not how we're doing LinkedIn today. LinkedIn, you can talk about anything. You can talk about life. You can talk about business. You can talk about health. You can talk about mental health. It's really this super cool free place where you can show up and be yourself. Yes, it's still professional. It's still primarily professionals on it, but it's professionals who can be themselves. So don't be afraid to be yourself on LinkedIn. Professional is fine, guys, but authentic you is better. And if you happen to be funny, well, friggin' use it. Because according to Financial Times, there has been a 160% increase in users that are looking for comedy posts and ways to laugh on LinkedIn. LinkedIn even added the laughing emojis to accommodate this new trend. So there you go, guys. There's your permission. Joke away, have fun on LinkedIn. Comedy is powerful. Comedy is okay. Now, guys, we've talked about the content or the way to create content that is highly, highly valuable on LinkedIn. But remember, content for content's sake is nothing. We have to think about, what do we want to do with that content? What do you want your video to do? What do you want your carousel post to do? What do you want your story post to do? And I would say what we do on the BDP, we're always here to educate and inspire. So I'm always trying to find ways to educate my audience, to inspire people, to teach business development, to teach entrepreneurship, to teach podcasting, to teach the lessons that I can provide to the world and have a little bit of fun with it along the way. And really, guys, in 2025, you can educate your way to stardom. And I highly, highly recommend that you do. Educational posts are consistently the top performing content on LinkedIn and remain one of the best ways, if not the best way, to boost engagement in 2025 and beyond. And I would say, guys, the recipe for a great educational post is this. They have to be, number one, value driven. People come to LinkedIn to learn and grow. Make sure to provide a ton of value in every post. Ask yourself each time you post, did I provide some level of value to the person engaging with this content? If the answer is no, you absolutely should not post that piece of content unless you just want to. I don't know. But look to just create as much value as you can, right? Try to teach something. Try to help somebody. If every single day you help one person with your posts, you are on the right track. Number two, make sure that whatever you do, you're doing it quickly. Try to deliver your lesson in 60 seconds or less, because people on LinkedIn, they're not there for a long time. They're scrolling through quickly and they have really short attention spans. So if you hook them, you still might not hook them for very long. So the faster that you can deliver your message, the more powerful your post is going to be, the more likely you're going to get great engagement, okay? And number three, make sure that you ask every single person that if they found value in that post, to reshare it, to tell a friend, to comment, have them engage. If they find value in your post, ask them to engage with it. If you ask, you shall receive. And if engagement is what you are looking for, you have to ask for it. Look at every big post that you see on LinkedIn, and very, very likely there was an ask to engage with it in one way or another. Now, there's another reason, guys, that teaching posts and educational posts are so powerful. Teaching builds trust and positions you as a thought leader and a subject matter expert. Teaching is also rewarding and a lot of fun. I could have never, ever seen how powerful me sharing my knowledge with the world was going to be. I could not have imagined that this show would be listened to in 145 countries around the world, that I would be reaching, coast to coast, continent to continent. I never saw that, guys. I never saw that, but we live in that time. And if you have valuable lessons, you will educate the world. It is so incredible to have that kind of impact on the world. I am so grateful that I have been able to do that. I've genuinely just felt the love from around the world. There's nothing quite like having people from France, from people from Germany reach out and let you know, people from Australia reach out and let you know how your content has made a massive impact in their life, help them get that job, help them land that next big client, help their business grow. It is super, super cool, guys. And I would say that there's so much reward in that for you. If you're looking for a reason to share your knowledge with the world, you don't need a bigger one than that. It's really quite incredible. At this point, we've touched the lives of thousands and thousands of people around the world, and I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity to do so. And I genuinely say this and mean it. It is a privilege. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to do this week over week, month over month, year over year. And I think you will find that too when you start sharing your knowledge with the world. Okay, well, now that we have a good idea of what engaging content looks like, how do we get people to see it? This is the biggest problem that I see on LinkedIn. Okay, I see a lot of great content. There's a lot of people posting really cool stuff, But here, remember this. There's so much noise. There's so much noise on LinkedIn that standing out is really challenging. Even for a show like mine, even for posts like this that are super valuable to the world, you still have to work for it if you want to get that message out there, okay? I have a really unique experience at organic marketing on LinkedIn. I've been using LinkedIn to grow the audience and exposure of the show from the very beginning. And guys, I've learned a lot in the process. And let me just start out by saying, I do not have all the answers, okay? I do not have all the answers. I've interviewed people whose whole job it is to monitor LinkedIn and figure out what works and what doesn't work. And even they don't have all the answers because it changes all the time. What works and what doesn't work changes all the time. So I can only speak to my experience as of this moment. However, I do think that no matter when you're finding the show, whether it's 2026, 2027, 2030, that a lot of these lessons are still going to be very valuable because some things just stand the test of time, no matter what the algorithms are doing, okay? The first thing that I've learned is this. LinkedIn offers an absolute ton of value. It offers a ton of value, guys. And the further and deeper that I get into utilizing LinkedIn, figuring out what the features are, the more I'm like, wow, this program is absolutely incredible. But once again, you must use it to its full potential. I see too many of you not completing your profiles, not filling out your featured sections, not setting up corporate company pages, not participating on LinkedIn, not utilizing your 100 invites a week, not posting consistently. Guys, if you want to have success on LinkedIn, if this is truly important to you, to your personal brand, to your corporate brand, you have to use it and you have to use it to its full potential. And yes, it's going to have a learning curve. I'm still learning how to utilize LinkedIn and I've been utilizing it heavily for the last, 2.5 years of the show. I'm learning all the time. It's changing all the time. They're adding features all the time. The best way is just to invest a certain amount of time per week into LinkedIn, okay? And I get it. You're busy. I know. I'm busy too. But you have to find the time because LinkedIn will pay you back, but you have to learn how to utilize it, okay? 1, we must post regularly, guys. We have to post regularly 3 to 5 times per week, okay? At least 3 to 5 times per week. I want you guys to be posting corporate posts and personal posts. Mix them up. Personal posts always get more engagement. Why? They're more relatable. But if you want eyes on your corporate stuff, you have to do corporate posts as well. So make sure that we are peppering corporate posts in with personal posts. But I would say at least if you're doing 3 to 5 a week, make 3 of your posts personal posts to every 2 corporate posts, or like 2 to 1. But trust me on this, your personal posts are good because they draw more eyes to your page. And then whatever you post after that will get more engagement. This is why, as we move forward, that companies need to start encouraging their personnel to utilize LinkedIn on a personal level, because if they can all grow their LinkedIns on a personal level, they're going to draw a lot more eyes to the corporate posts as time moves forward. You must also utilize your 100 invites a week to connect with people who can relate and appreciate your content, okay? If you have a LinkedIn premium account, you can send 100 invites a week for people to follow you and your page. This is super, super valuable, guys. But once again, it's one of those things. You don't use it, you lose it. You get 100 a week and they don't roll over. And so if you're not utilizing all 100 of your invites to invite people who would find your page relevant, who would find your content valuable, you're leaving money on the table, okay? You have to start sending your 100 invites every single week. It does not take long. Take 30 minutes out of your day on a Monday, send your 100 invites, because if you don't use them, you lose them. But the more eyes you can get on your content, the better. So start utilizing that feature. If you have LinkedIn Premium, send 100 invites a week to get eyes of people who would find your content valuable. Start building your community. The second lesson that I've learned is that content strategy is a long game, okay? Think years, not months, okay? And I know that's hard. It's hard to hear. I didn't think so in the beginning either. I thought, oh yeah, I'll start a LinkedIn page for my podcast and it'll just grow like wildfire. And yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't grow like wildfire. It takes a lot of time. I work very, very hard to grow our LinkedIn page. I send 250 invites every single month at the start of the month, because once again, if you have a corporate page of any kind, you can invite 250 people to follow it each month. So once again, send those invites. But that's just one way to grow your page. But you have to start posting in multiple different locations to get eyes on what you do, okay? It is not a short game. You are not going to get millions of followers or even hundreds of thousands of followers in a year. You're not going to do it in 2 years. It takes time, guys. If you look at any of the big people on LinkedIn, the people with massive followings, millions followings, they've been at this for 10 years. They've been at this for 10 years, okay? It is not a short game. If you want to grow a following, if you want to become a thought leader, you need to invest. You need to invest the time. I actually interviewed, like I said, somebody whose whole job it is to follow LinkedIn and figure out the trends. They told me that at bare minimum, you have to dedicate 5 years to the platform. You have to dedicate 5 years to the platform. That's multiple posts per week. That's engaging with the content. That's creating valuable content. That's building your personal brand, okay? It is not going to happen overnight. Stop looking for the quick fix. There's nothing quick about growing a brand, okay? There's nothing quick about growing your page. What I can say, it's going to be super valuable for you when you do it. But like anything, you have to put in the time, okay? Stop looking for the quick fix. Content strategy is a long game. Think years, not months, okay? The third thing that I've learned is treat people with kindness and respect, okay? Treat everybody with kindness and respect. They will stick around, okay? We have incredible followers of this show who engage with the content all the time, who I have private messages with, who I talk with in the comments, who I've had video meetings with. Like, we have an incredible rockstar community on the Business Development Podcast on our LinkedIn page. And that was built over the last 2.5 years of just being here, of showing up, of them knowing that it's me. It's literally me commenting back, having that conversation with them. It is powerful. Building a community is powerful, but you have to participate and you have to treat everybody with respect. Every comment deserves respect. Every message deserved respect. Somebody went out of their way to comment on your post. Somebody went out of their way to send you that DM, that private message. Give them the courtesy and message them back. I get it. I see it with some of like the big content producers where I can either tell that they have an executive assistant answering them, or worst case scenario, they literally have an AI bot answering for them. And it's so annoying and so disappointing because they never got to that following by doing that. I can tell you that right now. They got there by initially participating, having conversations with people, building real relationship. It's a respect thing. I genuinely think that if you are going to transfer your page over, you got to let people know. You got to let people know that you're no longer commenting, that it's somebody else. I think it's kind of disingenuous because at the end of the day, they never built their personal brands that way. They built their personal brands by participating in the conversations as themselves. Respond to every comment and message. Thank people for their comments and insights and build a community that you can be proud of and will be proud to be a part of. This fourth thing is absolutely powerful. This might be one of the most powerful messages in this entire episode. If you only take one thing away from this episode, let it be this. LinkedIn groups are a secret weapon, okay? Any content provider worth their salt, they are posting like crazy across LinkedIn groups, okay? How do we do it? First, find groups that resonate with you. Figure out where is my content going to resonate the best? Do we have AI content that would fit well in one of the big AI groups? Do we have leadership content that would fit well in one of the leadership groups? Business development? Great. There's a business development group. Hotels, logistics, anything you can think of, there is a LinkedIn group for it. Guys, these groups typically have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in them, okay? Massive audience that absolutely trumps the 600 people to 1,000 people you have on your LinkedIn, okay? Trust me on this. If you are looking to grow your personal brand, your corporate brand, you have to get eyes on it. Think about this from a standpoint of if you were to buy a billboard, okay? If you were to buy a billboard, we're in Canada, we're in Alberta. Let's talk Highway 2, one of the most highly traveled highways in Alberta every single day, okay? But you don't know who's traveling up and down that highway and seeing your billboard, right? Probably 1 in every 100, and that might even be generous, would find your brand content valuable on that billboard. Now, if you have a brand content that sells to oil and gas, and you are specifically in an oil and gas group with 1 million people in it, pretty good chance you're getting, up to 1 million eyes of people who can actually engage with your content. At this point, guys, I would say that that's almost more valuable than buying a billboard on the busiest highway in Alberta, okay? We have to learn, how do we get our brand out there in cost-effective ways, but also efficient ways, okay? Guys, LinkedIn is it. LinkedIn is the answer. If you want to get eyes on your content, consistently posting in groups that are relevant to your brand and whatever you're trying to do is super, super valuable, okay? LinkedIn has some interesting rules with their groups, though. I think you can only join 100, which obviously is a lot. You're probably not going to join 100 groups, but I'm pretty sure you're limited to about 100 different groups you can join. You also can only post 20 group posts per week, okay? That means that you can post in one group 20 times, or you can post in 20 different groups the same post, but you are limited to posting only 20 group posts per week. Posting directly in the group is better than resharing to the group. So that's another little caveat that I'll tell you. When I was originally doing, posts for the Business Development Podcast, we used to share them. In the beginning, we could share them to 100 a week. It was absolutely crazy. They've really reduced it. But in the beginning of the show, I was sharing it to 100 groups per week every time we posted a new episode to get new eyes on the show. It worked really, really well. But once again, at the time I was doing reshares, I didn't understand how to do it. We weren't getting quite the same level of engagement. What I learned later was it's actually better, even if you're going to repost the same post, to copy that post and post it as a new post in the group, attach the image or attach the video or whatever you're going to do, and do each one like an individual post. It actually works better. So don't reshare to groups. Start a new post in each group and redo the post over and over and over again if you like. But it works super, super well to engage directly in the group, not reshare to the group. And guys, you have to, once again, take advantage of your 20 group posts per week, because if you don't use them, you lose them. The next week it rolls over. Sure, you get 20 again, but if you only use 10, you left 10 on the table. So make sure, if we're trying to get brand exposure, if we're trying to leverage LinkedIn to the maximum of its ability, we have to use it every week. Do your 20 group posts a week. If you did a great personal post that week and it's killing it on your main page, take that same post and post it to 20 different groups and watch your impressions and engagement start to soar, okay? Not to mention your follows, because when you're posting in groups, people who don't know who you are liking your content, thinking, hey, this person might be worth following, and they give you a follow as well. Now, I think maybe one of the most important lessons that I have to give you guys with regards to group posting, okay? We have to look at it from a standpoint of, is this valuable to you? Many of you are posting on LinkedIn with no idea if it's valuable or not, with no idea what it's doing for you, what the eyes are you're getting, and what maybe would work better for you, okay? Let me level set that for you today. We talked about it in the beginning of this episode, okay? If you were only getting about 4.73% impression engagement, okay, that means we need to get as many impressions as possible on our content to get engagement, to have people like it, share it, follow us, comment, okay? We have to get as many impressions as possible, okay? That means that from this point forward, from this day forward, every single time you do a group post, I want you to start evaluating the groups, okay? I want you to start evaluating the groups. There's an entrepreneurship group that works really well on LinkedIn. And for instance, if I post something in there, pretty much guaranteed I'm getting at least 1,000 impressions on that post. Some get an absolute ton. I love that group. That group will always get a post. There's other groups that I post in that get very little engagement. It could be a great post. It could be the same post that just got 7,000 impressions in the one group. And maybe in this other group, I'm only getting like 200. You need to start evaluating these groups. This is where it's totally okay to come and go from groups based on what is valuable to you. It is not worth your time if you continue to post to a group that gets very little engagement. Remove that group and find a new one that gives you great engagement. Start aiming to get bare minimum 300 impressions per post. Set a bar for yourself. Set a bar for yourself on when you will leave a group, okay? If a group is only giving you, on average, 100, 150, 200 impressions per post, probably not worth it in the long run, right? We need to make sure that our posts are getting bare minimum 3, 4, 500 impressions and up. Let's figure them out. Let's make sure that all 20 of the groups that you post to every single week are high impressions and therefore, over time, high engagement. It's not worth it to post in these groups that don't provide you value. Find the groups that resonate with your message and double down. This has been a big secret for me, guys. This has been, one of my big secrets on how I've leveraged LinkedIn to grow. And frankly, over this past little bit, I've been averaging around 20,000 impressions per week. And last but not least, guys, number 5, never stop learning and trying things. Social media preferences change with the wind. It definitely seems that way. Try new mediums as they come available, right? If there's something new, give it a go. You never know. You never know what's going to be powerful in a moment. You have to be learning. You have to be trying it all. Don't be afraid to try video, short form video, carousels, pictures, typed content. Do whatever you can to figure out what content gets the most impressions and therefore the most engagements for you over time, and double down on it. And when that stops working, try something else. The secret to being successful on social media is to continue trying new mediums all the time. And when one stops working, don't quit. Find the next thing. And I can't in good conscience do this show without talking about taking a break, okay? Social media is incredibly taxing. It's the job none of us signed up for, including me, but it's now a very required part of the job for growing a business, building a brand, getting your message out there. Like, we have to put the time in. It is literally part of the job description at this point for many, many careers. Anybody building a personal brand, anybody even writing a book at this point needs to have social media. Like, it's absolutely crazy. So we have to put in the time, but understand that if you need to take a break, it is okay. It is okay. I get it. 3 to 5 posts a week, every week forever. It's a lot. I totally get it. Don't feel bad if 1 week you can't keep up. Don't feel bad if 1 week you need to just shut the computer down and forget it exists, okay? I've been there, done that. You can absolutely take a break whenever you want, and I encourage you to do so for your own mental health and sanity. As of this recording, April of 2025, like I said before, I average about 20,000 impressions per week on LinkedIn organically, guys. This is not paid. This is not paid. This also translates to about 300 to 500 new followers to my pages per month. It is crazy how fast things grow. Post regularly, educate and inspire, share far and wide, and reevaluate regularly, and you will have a recipe for long-term social media and LinkedIn success. I want to thank everybody who has nominated us so far for the Quill Podcast Awards for 2025. I can't tell you how much it means to me, guys. I appreciate your nominations immensely. We have had, I think, well over 100, if not closer to 200 nominations so far for the Quill Podcast Awards, and every single one matters. If you're hearing this today and it is still April of 2025, I would appreciate your nomination greatly. You can do it by just Googling Quill Podcast Awards 2025 and clicking the nominate now form, or going over to our LinkedIn page, which I would appreciate, following us there, and then scrolling until you find it. I'll have it popping up every single week, so it'll be easy to find. Please do click nominate the Business Development Podcast. I believe we're qualified in up to 5 different categories, 5 different business categories. Awards like that greatly help us to grow this show over time. So if you found value and you're looking for an easy thing to do to support us right now, my gosh, please do nominate us. If you've already nominated us, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you immensely. Please do follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you have not yet done so. And please do enable automatic downloads where possible. Once again, those numbers really do help us reach new audiences. It doesn't cost you a dime and it helps us a metric ton. So please do follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave us a review, a rating where possible. And where possible, please do enable automatic downloads to help us continue to grow our download numbers over time. Please do tell 2 to 3 people about this show. If you have a coworker who would find value in this, a friend, a family member, tell them 2 to 3 episodes of our 227 episode catalog that meant something to you. It really does help us grow this show, and organic growth is where it is at. Word of mouth is where it is at. Rockstar to rockstar. Help us create the next generation of rockers. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for following this show, for sticking with us 227 episodes. Like I said, if it's your first episode or your 227th episode, I appreciate you immensely. I could not do this show without you, and you are incredibly, incredibly valuable. Thank you so much. Shout outs this week: Carmen LaBelle, Colin Harms, Micah Dixon, Rodney Lover, Gary Noseworthy, Susan Paseka, Abe Duick, Zolk Malik, Justin LaRock, Rudy A. Zacharias, David Kravitz, Lauren Graff, Mindy K. McRae Broadbent, Mike Mack, Nathan Plum, Stephen Morrissey, Jamar Jones, Jim Flett, Chris Schink, Ross Hewart, Eriz Maji, Eduardo Cano, Andrew Brown, Tiana Marinucci, Tatiana Zametalina, Mike Hayes, Allison Osborne, Michelle Sammy Weeb, and Rachel Blanton. Until next time, you've been listening to the Business Development Podcast, and we will catch you on the flip side.
This has been the Business Development Podcast with Kelly Kennedy. Kelly has 15 years in sales and business development experience within the Alberta oil and gas industry and founded his own business development firm in 2020. His passion and his specialization is in customer relationship generation and business development. The show is brought to you by Capital Business Development, your business development specialists. For more, we invite you to the website at www.capitalbd.ca. See you next time on the Business Development Podcast.
Hey, Rockstars, are you ready to master the art of business development and finally achieve the results you've been chasing? Hi, I'm Kelly Kennedy, host of the Business Development Podcast, and I want to invite you to the Business Development Mastery Program, a transformative journey designed to help you level up, stand out, and succeed. This program goes beyond the basics. You'll learn how to craft marketing materials that sell, create ideal customer profiles, and build target lists that deliver results. But that's just the start. You'll also discover the secrets to personal branding so that you're not just another voice in the crowd, and learn how to use social media strategies to position yourself as a trusted expert in your field. It's about building relationships, driving action, and achieving measurable growth. The truth is, business development isn't guesswork, it's a system, and I'll show you how to make it work for you. Let's get started. Book your discovery call now at capitalbd.ca or connect with me directly on LinkedIn and send me a DM. Your next big win is waiting.